Inspire Tech in FM award winners. So they're going to come up. So it's Matthew Chapman, Kelly Dolphin. So we've got the CEO and People and Culture Director. I started remembering earlier on today, and now it's all a blur, sorry. So they're going to talk about the role of technology in people strategy, evolving connection and collaboration.
Okay, so look, we're going to tell you something that you already know, which isn't that inspirational. So when we're talking and people are showing all these gadgetry and innovations, we're literally telling you something that you already know. And you've known for years, because I've been talking about this for well over 11 years myself. We've heard from Leanne today, who's talked about people at the centre and the My ISS and the app for the clients. We've heard from Tim, and I really enjoyed that Tim talking about the support, people to love working for you. Beverly and Dan, you put up a picture of the sky image, and I actually thought that was brilliant as well. And you talked about storytelling, which is on theme. And Mauro, again, you said storytelling. We're going to talk about probably the least tech of the day. In fact, we believe tech just simply exists to support people. And it's going to be light touch, and hopefully you won't hear the little beeper to rush us along. So let me start by taking us back to 2011. And I know this chap in this image is actually watching now on the live stream. So this is Nana, and you can see the date of this image. That's a Toys R Us, just to show how old this image is. Now, shamefully, and I say shamefully, back in 2011, I'd just moved into this industry from working in media and in sports. And I kind of had this kind of hybrid role of sales and marketing. And we wanted to create a nice glossy brochure to attract people into this business I was working for. And I got sent down to Reading to take a picture of a smiley-faced frontline colleague who just loves working for the FM company that I also worked at. I didn't really know who this person was. I turn up, and they were so engaging, energetic, smiles, and I take my pictures. I think this is brilliant. And then, when we get talking, I realise that Nana, the area manager, is actually Nana Odami Osafari Ose from Ghana. We start connecting because we found out we both play computer games. Back then, I think it was PS3, FIFA, and we got some common interest. And then I just think this guy is so articulate. And I find out, actually, he's got a degree in humanity. Moreover, he's got a degree in humanity and a master's in geology and society studies. I go away and I'm just thinking, this makes no sense, because no disrespect to anyone in the room, but I work with some colleagues who did not have those qualifications that the man in this image have. I've genuinely seen some people in our industry where I'm questioning, I'm like, how did they get in that job? I sometimes question myself. I'm like, how did I get in this job? How am I here today doing this talk? Anyways, back on track. This guy's story is part of the nucleus and the basis of how we inspire and what's become to know in our business as Evolve. But, and you can probably see where this is going, you fast forward to today. Nana, father of two, husband of Sarah, who lives in London, is our operations director. And I think, oh, that's great, I brought in a guy that I connected with. But did it really need to take 10 or 11 years? Nana always was the man that he is in that picture. He always had that ability in him. And this is why we're saying it's about unlocking potential, understanding who your workforce is. Otherwise, how many other Nanas or examples or Matthews or Kellys or any of you guys have just been missed? So this presentation will go a little bit into how do you really know who your colleagues are and the importance of keeping your business human-centric.
Okay, so similar to Nana's story that Matt's just told you, a little bit same. When I was 17 years old, I worked at this place as a cleaner. So I worked there whilst I was studying. It's a renowned mental institute, one of the worst hospitals in Bradford, and I worked there just to earn extra money whilst I was studying. But whilst I worked there, I was seen as just a cleaner. And we hear that phrase all too often, oh, she's just a cleaner. And I'll use a line that I used on this stage 2 years ago, nobody is just a cleaner. all of those people deserve the chances, the opportunities that everyone in this room has had given to them in life. So anyway, back to the role. So I turned up day one as a cleaner, 17 years old, no induction. I got given a fob, a key to the cleaning cupboard, and an alarm around my neck, because you had to have it in those kind of hospitals for safety. Nobody really bothered with me, cared to spend any time with me, because I was there covering a gap. I was working for an agency. I never even knew the name of the cleaning company that I worked for, and this still goes on in our industry today. When we visit sites, people will say, "Oh, are you from the cleaning company?" They often have more of a connection and an affinity with the client they work for. As far as I was concerned, I worked for the NHS at the hospital, but actually I didn't. So fast forward 5 years and I'm in my first professional job in recruitment. So I'm at the other side of the fence now. I'm the person that's filling those gaps, those labour shortages for our clients. We'd receive a phone call and ask for a person to come fill a gap. I never knew why we were filling the gap, and they never explained that to us. And sadly, 20 years on, I know I'm showing my age now, but that still goes on, and people are still trekked and called gap fills, blowouts, get some covering, and not the human-centric approach is just not there. So another thing that I'd like to just mention when talking about the inception of Evolve is working in FM, we noticed some other situations that people are finding themselves in. So a lot of people living way below the poverty line because of the wages. They don't even know what the career opportunities are that are available to them. And we found pockets of discrimination. So if you see this image here on the screen, this was sent to somebody office-based. So if this was going on in our offices, what was going on the front line? I dread to think.
So you're probably looking at that image thinking, what's this got to do with innovation and tech? That image was sent to me, an educated, privately educated, law degree, you name it, MBA, whatever, and that was sent to me. And I'm telling you, these things are going on in our industry. And we don't even know. And people don't even know where to turn. I was very fortunate that I had a good support network, and I knew where to turn. Anyway, we'll get back into this, because what we're about to tell you is you need to connect and support your workforce. So let's tell you something else that you already know. Typical FM company. The stats are probably a bit skewed just for simplicity, because maths is not either of our strongest subject. A company's owned. It could be a private equity firm or an individual, 1%. The management is 2%. The rest is, let's just call it your remote workforce or your colleagues. 97%. It is nigh impossible to truly have the experiences that we have in this room with workforce remotely on these percentages. Now, we'll go into some stats, because we knew this, but we had to really come up with some kind of quantitative and qualitative data to back up and really launch into our initiative. So we did a survey, 8,000 people across the industry, frontline colleagues, we'll call them, mostly cleaners. We called it a temperature check or a welfare survey, really short, snappy, can be downloaded into various different languages, but to give us a nice sample size. We got about 10% response rate, very high. Do you feel part of your company's community and team? 42%, yes. That's because the majority of frontline feel, as Kelly said, connected to the property or the end client that they serve. Speak to one of our cleaners, say they're working in a gym, they'll say, actually, yep, I'm a cleaner for Pure Gym. They won't say SBFM. Poor stat. Do you know who your line manager is? Now, this is slightly improved, but as my old boss used to say, if this was a pizza, 40% almost is crap, and it's not good, and you won't eat crap. So 62% said, yes, I know who my line manager is. But how often do you see your line manager? Now, can you imagine almost half of these people surveyed never saw their line manager, didn't have that connection, didn't get the chance to tell their story or be heard. And then you add in the elephant in the room in our industry, which people don't like talking about, because I see the tender responses. I've been on that side of the fence. Typically, 1 in 10 within frontline cleaners will leave So that's the attrition. Now, 10%, when you think about it, the lowest paid job, arguably one of the hardest jobs in the country, if not the world. For some people, I know, Simon, you mentioned family. I've got family who work in a hospital as well in Bradford and have done for many years. But for some people, it's just an entry point. Let's take London as a microcosm. If we're just going to generalise, so income's cleaner, well, human who comes to London, they want to get on the employment ladder, they want to progress, they come to London, this is a great entry point. This industry is a sea of opportunity. But the key thing, and Tim, you mentioned this, they want to make money. So they are going to leave. They're going to leave for 10 to 50p for £1 per hour. So we need to make sure that if they are leaving, we are celebrating that attrition and they leave with a positive experience, or we can offer them something that others can't and they grow within our business. But if they leave with a positive experience, that's where the story comes in, because their story will inspire more people to come to our business. So why is this even a discussion in 2024 when me and Kelly stood up here just saying our blueprint is basically just learn, get to know your workforce, know your colleagues, treat them like you treat the person in the office, treat the person who's outside of the office the same way, the best you can.
So, when Matt and I were looking at all these things that we've discussed today, we wanted to come up with something to resolve the issue, but also, like Tim mentioned earlier today, you need to give them something to make them want to work for your business. Because let's face it, it's not that interesting, is it? So we got together and we came up with Evolve. And what I'm about to tell you, it's not groundbreaking, it's very, very, very simplistic. So we recruit people into our business, like all of you will. We have refer a friend schemes, we use Indeed, multiple channels of recruitment. But the next part of this ecosystem is the key element. So we heard a lot from Linda, a lot from Linda about training, skills and development earlier today. And we need to develop and support the workers that work for us. We can use the apprenticeship levy, we do CV writing clinics, we do one-to-one coaching, e-learning, you name it, all those different elements. But it's not just about that compliance training, it's about the support and development into their careers and what they're aspiring to be. And then the end goal is to ultimately progress them. And we also wanted to bring people into our business from many, many different backgrounds. So what do we mean by an impact partner? An impact partner to us is the Ministry of Justice, the Armed Forces Covenant, the Disability Confidence Scheme. So we work with the Ministry of Justice, we work in prisons, we've just got funding from the Ministry of Justice to run academies, so SBFM Cleaning Academy. We go into the prison, we work with the offenders whilst they're in there, we support and develop them so that when they're released, we offer them employment with SBFM. We are signatories of the Race at Work Charter. We also work with Disability Confidence Scheme to help people with disabilities into employment.
So we're talking about progression now, which is now moving, and Kelly mentioned an ecosystem. Most businesses want to make a profit. You want to have longevity with your clients. You want to take it into the next iteration. You want to continue to grow. So basically, from our side, we thought Evolve is this perfect mechanism, and it's simple. Most of your clients have an ESG strategy just like we do. Most of your clients are saying that they want to generate social value and help people live better lives and, operate in a sustainable world that we move into. So ultimately, what better way than the person who already works in their property, understands their culture and their environment, would love the problems, and this is key because my cousin says this to me a lot, would love the problems that we have. The people who go, can't fancy work, they wish they were in our shoes. Why not give them an opportunity to be the talent pool to their workforce? So our hope is that we generate opportunities within our business, but you saw the bottleneck, the 1%. Where we can't take people further, why not connect the dot to our clients' talent pool? And we refer to these as Evolve partners. So I'm now going to give you a quick example of an Evolve partner. This is one of the earliest adopters within our business. Pure Gym wanted to do something different in the market. They heard about Evolve and they were like, yep, we'll have a piece of that, let's say. Ultimately, a lot of our cleaners have come from all different backgrounds, working in the environment, and what PureGym have said is that every single year they will give a course which is worth £2,500 per cleaner to become a personal trainer, because it's hard for them to recruit personal trainers. Now, if you're a cleaner working on PureGym, you're actually also given a free gym membership, so you're getting into that culture of health. You are treated as a PureGym employee. They're part of that team. And when you talk about symbiotic with your client is then coupled with tech. Now, the technology is, we mentioned this is the exact same from last year. We want to make sure that not only people we're attracting into our business, but the people who are within our business have a connection. And this is the light touch I was talking about. We can't be everywhere with our management. So our connection is through Optimize, a star rating, so people can actually gamify and see where they are on the whole learning trajectory, mandatory learning, audit scores, time and attendance. But we're probably, on average, I'd say 99.9% in this room are on LinkedIn. Our frontline colleagues probably not. So we give them something that they can take away. We can learn about them, the languages they speak, the courses they're interested in, vocational, aspirational learning, and then they can take this, and this is the basis of their CV for whichever way they go. The people with the 1, 2 stars, guess what? We actually know who are having challenges or problems, so we can focus our energy with a lean management infrastructure where it's needed. And we can actually reward the people who are 4, 5 stars and use their story because they are best suited for that next step up, be it with a client or within our business. It's really, really simple. We are just saying, learn and know your colleagues. Now, I've seen some good videos. Ours is not one of them. This is not a good video, just like this is not something new. But this will show you just some of the impact, light touch, that Evolve and these initiatives have already had.
I'm Niall and I work for SBFM. It's one company that I've worked for where I've walked into and I feel like comfortable. I feel like part of the team. SBFM have been there since day one of me coming out. That's what we need when we come out of prison, support, and not to be judged and to be like a voice for us, and that's what you get with SBFM.
When I heard about SBFM in prisons and I was over the moon. Because for me it was like a lifeline that I've never heard of any company coming into prisons and helping. You can evolve, you can progress. But you tell me who else is coming into prisons and offering lifelines like that.
PureGym and SBFM giving me the chance to get into something that I'm actually passionate about. Before I was a bit lost in college, just doing courses I didn't have a passion for. The Evolve program really gives you a chance to achieve those things if you're not better off.
No longer a cleaner at SBFM. I work in the actual office now on the call handler. So I think the big thing that they did for me was they didn't give up. The fact that I've got the chance to progress in a company. I've never really had that chance before. So I've been here less than a year and I've already progressed once. So that's the motivation now to keep progressing, keep smashing it.
Okay, so for some of the eagle eyes, there's actually a colleague of ours who's been at the conference today and shared in the stories. And that colleague actually said to me when they came on the Evolve programme that actually he's proud of himself because when he speaks to his family, he was the first one to have a proper job. You also saw a video of Kyle who came out of prison as an ex-offender, and FM just provided this sea of opportunity. Literally, every job you could wish for is in FM. And what happened with Kyle actually didn't work out first time. There was a bit of reoffending, went back into prison, but guess what he was talking about, we were still there when he came out with this initiative because we understood that it's not easy, and actually we understood him and he had a connection to our business.
I think it's just important to mention as well, these hidden stories really need bringing to the forefront. So Niall's actually in the audience with us today. His video was played in Wealdstone Prison, and that's why Niall got on board with Evolve and came to work at SBFM. So Niall's already inspiring other people that are in that situation to join SBFM and the Evolve initiative.
So, now, not many words on slides, just literally passion, and the company I work for are very passionate about what we do for people. But we're also passionate to share this story because there's no reason why any other company shouldn't be doing it or couldn't even make it better and make it evolve into the next ether of social value proposition. But just to reiterate, we're talking about FM as an entry to employment. We partner with entities, prisons, you name it. Leeds United, you might have seen on there. There's academy footballers who'd never make it into the first team. Where did they turn? Oh, I did get to the beeps. So, what we're saying is, learn and attract into our business. Recruit, simple tick. Develop, spend time. Develop, by the way, is everything from building CVs to mentorship. It's not just a straight-up qualification. And then help people to progress. Don't be shy of people leaving. Don't try and hide the best cleaner to benefit yourself, benefit them, and their story will help you grow your business. So we talk about a blueprint for connection, and we just wanted to share this with you. We genuinely we have allies already. We spoke to colleagues at Mighty, Pareto, and we are very, very open to talking about this because we can't do it on our own. We're 7,000 to 8,000 employees. You know what I mean? We're not going to change the world in SBFM. We need to share this story. A bit more detail on what the actual Evolve initiative and the kind of lessons learned and the stories behind individuals can be found here. But we'd always welcome, if anyone wants to talk to us in networking, we'd always welcome a chat. Thanks for your time.